All right. All right. Let's see. Let's see. Let's send out some notifications to the Discord chat. Bada bing, bada boom. All right. Cool. 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 Also need to get comments pulled up real quick. How's everybody doing today? Welcome, welcome, welcome. Also, let's go ahead and check where we are at subscriber wise. Let's see how many subs we got. We're so close to 10K. We are so close to 10K, guys. We are right around the corner from 9,900 subscribers, which means here soon we will be roughly 100 subs away from 10K. So if you're looking for a sign to subscribe, okay, because I know a lot of people, they come, they watch the videos, they don't even think about subscribing. Well, this is your sign. If you are watching this right now, currently, or in the future, smack that subscribe button, guys, because we are so close to that 10K mark. It is ridiculous. Olivia, what's up? How you guys doing? Was I first? Let's see. Yes, technically, yes, you were. You were first in chat, Olivia. What's up? How you doing? Welcome, everybody. Welcome, welcome, welcome. We're going to get the stream going in just a minute. Today, we're going to be talking about anxiety recovery, catching yourself in the act of fueling your anxiety. Catching yourself in the act of fueling your anxiety. Now, this is a good one. This is a good one. If you are familiar with what we talk about here, first and second fear, we'll briefly explain that. First fear is those anxious symptoms, whatever those symptoms may be in your body, and those thoughts, those negative intrusive thoughts like I might go crazy, I might have a heart attack, blah, blah, blah. It could be about the future. Maybe it's intrusive thoughts about the future, something going wrong. Maybe it's intrusive thoughts about the past, whatever the case may be. That is your first fear, and first fear is something we can't help. But second fear is in our control. And very briefly, second fear is when you fuel that first fear, those symptoms, by worrying about them, or those intrusive thoughts by trying to fight them away. What you resist persists. I love that. It's a classic. So we're going to be talking about that today. Catching yourself in the act. Catching yourself in the act. Hey, Wonder Bro, first time catching you live. What's up, Sherry? Welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome, 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 everybody. We're going to get going in just a minute. Just a minute here. Let's see. Let's see. How you doing today, Sherry? Welcome to the stream. All right, we usually give it a few minutes to let some people get in here that want to join us live. That YouTube notification bell can be kind of slow sometimes. It can be kind of slow sometimes, so we're gonna give it another second or two, and then we'll get going. How's everybody in chat doing today? What's the weather like where you guys are from? What's the weather like where you guys are from? It is so hot here. It's beautiful though. It's beautiful. What's up, Swag? Welcome to the stream, dude. How you doing? How you doing? All right, guys. Let's see here. Let's see here. How long have we been live for? About 3.5 minutes. All right, let's go ahead and get the point of this stream started. Anxiety recovery, catching yourself in the act of fueling your anxiety. Now, we just went over what first and second fear was. First fear is those symptoms in the body and those intrusive thoughts in the head. Context irrelevant, whatever those thoughts might be about it. Doesn't really matter. Context irrelevant. Drop the whole context thing. All right. So, this is your first fear, and that is out of your control. It is out of your control. Your body, your mind is wired to do this, but we can reverse this. How do we reverse this? By not adding the second fear. The second fear is in our control, the first fear is not. Again, the first fear is not in your control, it's those symptoms and those thoughts, but the second fear is in your control. So, catching yourself, and this leads me into the main point of today's stream, catching yourself in the act of fueling your anxiety. Now let's start this off with an example. So let's say I wake up today and I'm like, you know what? Today is another day of acceptance. Today is another day of retraining my brain and getting on with my life. And you guys know what the two main keys to recovery here on the channel are: to live your life, get back into your life with those positive behaviors, live your life, and stop arguing with your mind. Stop fueling those negative intrusive thoughts. So let's say I wake up and I'm ready to dedicate to this today, and I'm going to put in a good day's work for my brain, for my body. Now, throughout that day, right? Depending on where you are on the totem pole, this applies to you regardless, but depending on where you are on the totem pole, you might have to do this a lot. Or maybe you're halfway through recovery and you don't have to do this as often, right? Or maybe you're right at the end of your recovery and you only have to do this maybe twice a day. But regardless, as I go on about my day, I'm going to have to get into the habit of catching myself when I'm fueling my anxiety. I am going to have to get into the habit of catching myself when I'm fueling my anxiety. So let's throw an example out there. Let's say I'm at the very beginning. I'm at the very beginning of recovery. So throughout my day to day, I might have to do this 100 times. But as I get up and I start getting back into my life in little or big ways, let's say I decide, you know what, today I'm going to give my dog a bath. So I get up, I grab my dog, I start to give my dog a bath, and a whole time, the whole time, I'm getting tempted by negative intrusive thoughts. I've got negative intrusive thoughts about what might happen in the future, about my symptoms. I've got negative intrusive thoughts about the past. Again, what might happen in the future. Maybe this bad thing will happen or this bad thing will happen. And this example is coming from being at the bottom of the totem pole, and these thoughts are just coming left and right and left and right and left and right. I need to enter into a mindset of I accept this and I'm not going to fuel this. Thank you, right? Thank you. Thank you to the thoughts. Thank you to the feelings. Thank you for coming, but I have no tea to serve you, right? Thank you to the thoughts. Thank you to the feelings, but I have no tea to serve you. Somebody in chat said, is this basically ERP? You could call it that. We call it acceptance, Dr. Claire Weeks, but it's the same concept. I'm very familiar with both. Same concept, so don't get yourself confused. Now, as I'm giving my dog this bath, I might have several very tempting, intrusive thoughts about this, that, or the other. The context is irrelevant, but I need to keep a mindset of thank you for coming, but I have no tea to serve you, right? So as these symptoms are present, as these thoughts are present, it's a simple thank you, right? It's a simple thank you. Somebody said, what if it's just pure focus on the symptoms itself? Does that deserve a thank you as well? Yeah, sure. Sure. The symptoms deserve a thank you as well. Because what you got to understand here is, guys, we give a lot of different metaphors. We say that you can remind yourself, no thanks, I'm not going to get involved with these thoughts, I'm just going to let them be. You can remind yourself, thank you for these feelings and these thoughts. You can remind yourself, it is what it is. We give a lot of metaphors, we give a lot of mantras that you can use. But whatever you decide to go with, you got to understand something. It's not so much about the language that we are speaking, it's all about this new mindset of acceptance. So whether you're reminding yourself, no thanks, I'm not going to get involved with these thoughts and feelings, I'm just going to let them be, right? I'm not going to fuel them. Or whether you're just reminding yourself, thank you for coming thoughts, thank you for coming feelings, but I'm not going to serve you any tea, which means I'm not going to argue with you or fight with you. Or maybe you are the kind of person that says, you know what it is to these thoughts and feelings. Regardless of what mantra that you choose to adopt, and you can adopt whatever suits you the best, you can adopt whatever sits with you the best. Regardless of whatever mantra you adopt, you have to understand that it's not so much about the mantra, okay? They're very helpful, but it's more about this attitude of I'm not going to resist. I'm not going to fuel the fire. I'm not going to dump gas on the fire. We call it the two main keys. I'm going to live my life, and when these thoughts, these tempting, intrusive thoughts come, I'm simply not going to get involved. Now, like I said, whether you're the kind of person that says it is what it is, or whether you're the kind of person that says thank you to these thoughts and feelings instead of fighting with them, or you're the kind of person that just reminds yourself, no thanks, I'm not going to get involved with these thoughts and feelings. I just accept them. They can be there if they want, but no thanks to fighting with them. Whatever mantra you've adopted, you've got to understand that it comes back to entering into this mindset of non-resistance. That's what it comes back to. So regardless of the mantra that you've adopted, you got to keep this mindset, okay, because that's what the mantras do. That's what the mantras do, is help you enter into a mindset of acceptance, into a mindset of non-resistance, into a mindset of no more gas on the fire, into a mindset of what Dr. Claire Weeks calls no second fear. And as you're doing this, Your brain is learning. It's seeing you no longer fight with these thoughts, therefore they must not be dangerous. It's seeing you no longer add a bunch of what ifs and oh my goodnesses, as Dr. Claire Weeks calls it, to these feelings. It's seeing you enter into a mindset of non-resistance. So as it sees you enter into a mindset of non-resistance, thank you so much, FB. I will get to that in just a second, dude. Thank you. As it sees you enter into this mindset of non-resistance, which takes practice and takes time, don't think you have to be perfect right away. You're a human. But as your brain slowly sees you make this new lifestyle change into non resistance, as far as your anxious thoughts and feelings go, your brain is going to learn. It's going to learn this entire time. Now, you might have to face some growing pains along the way. We say growing pains, that simply means you might have to face, anxiety. It's not just going to make it, disappear like that. You might have to do some facing and accepting. But as you slowly practice this new lifestyle, which is really what it is a lifestyle change of non resistance to these thoughts and feelings, regardless of what your mantra is, whether it is what it is, or thank you to the thoughts or feelings, or no thanks, I'm not going to get involved with that, I'm just going to accept it. Some people get confused on the thanks and no thanks. They think, well, if I'm saying no thanks, is that denial? No, it's a simple reminder to yourself, no thanks, I'm not going to get involved with these thoughts and feelings. I accept them for what they are. You're not trying to say, no, don't think that, don't think that, don't think that. No, that's not what you're trying to do. You're just trying to remind yourself, no thanks to involvement. I'm just going to let you be as you are to these thoughts and feelings. But if you don't like the way no thanks, that reminder to yourself sounds, then you can use thanks to these thoughts and feelings. But regardless, the main point is you are practicing non resistance. The main point is you are practicing no longer adding what Dr. Claire Weeks calls second fear. The main point is you are no longer dumping gas on the fire. You accept these anxious feelings and thoughts for what they are. Sometimes they peak, sometimes they decline, sometimes they go like this, but you are practicing regardless a new mindset of acceptance. No more resistance, right? So again, whatever mantra you adopt, whether it is what it is, or no thanks, I'm not getting involved with you, I accept you. You always got to keep that in the back of your mind. I accept these thoughts and feelings, but no thanks to getting involved. I'm good, dude. Like, I'm good. You can say what you want to, mind. You can do what you want to, body, but I'm not getting involved. No thanks. I'm good, dude. You can do what you want, but I accept you. Whatever you decide to do, I accept these anxious thoughts. I accept these anxious feelings. Or maybe you're the kind of person that wants to say thank you when these thoughts come. Thank you for that suggestion. Or you get a feeling. Thank you for that feeling. I appreciate it. And then just get on with your life. That's the two main keys. Not fighting with the thoughts, not fueling the thoughts, and just living your life. So you can teach your brain that all as well. So as you dedicate to this and you get back into your life in little or big ways, you get back into things you enjoy. You don't have to pack your day full of stuff, but you just get back into living. And as you are dedicating to that and not fighting with these thoughts, just keep that attitude of acceptance. Regardless of what mantra you want to use, you pick what works best for you. Regardless of what mantra you want to use, you have to understand that it's not so much about the mantra. The main point is we need you to enter into a new attitude to the best of your ability. It might take a lot of practice, but we need you to enter into a new attitude of acceptance, of non-resistance, so that your brain can learn over time that these thoughts and feelings are not dangerous. And that's what we call recovery. Eventually, the brain starts to rewire itself. These anxious pathways start to be rewritten, and you start to feel like a new person who's no longer clouded by so much anxiety in your daily life because you have retrained your brain. That is the end goal. But regardless of what mantra you go with during the process, keep in mind that the main point is we are just trying to get you to enter into a more non-resistant attitude, right? So don't get confused or worried or caught up on picking the right mantra, right? You just pick whatever works for you. I've been a fan here recently of the whole thank you thing, because in my mind that's the best way to kind of relay the message to people that you need to enter into an attitude of acceptance. You thank these thoughts and feelings. That's the total opposite of fighting with them. That's the total opposite of adding gas to the fire. That's the total opposite of getting yourself more worked up, aka second fear. And as you enter into this new mindset of just thank you to these thoughts and feelings and you live your life, your brain is going to make the correct calculations. Your brain, slowly over time, give yourself time, is going to make the correct calculations, and it's eventually going to come to the conclusion that you shouldn't be on such a high level of anxiety. And it's going to start to slowly set that down, right? Now, you don't have to be perfect at this. You may, like the title of the stream says, just to get back on track here, you may have to catch yourself quite a bit because this habit of second fear is so strong. You may have to catch yourself quite a bit fighting with these thoughts and feelings, and that's okay. If you catch yourself, pat yourself on the back. Don't discipline yourself. Don't get angry at yourself. Oh no, I just caught myself arguing with and fueling all these thoughts and feelings and being resistant to them. Oh man, I'm so bad at this. Cut all that out. If you catch yourself in the act of resisting these thoughts and feelings, aka fighting with them, aka fueling them, be proud of yourself. Don't be angry at yourself. That's ridiculous, right? Don't be angry at yourself. Don't be mad at yourself and say, oh man, I just caught myself doing that. What's wrong with me? I'll never get the hang of this. I'm so bad at this. I'm doing it so wrong. Cut all that out. If you catch yourself in the act, which is what the main point of this stream is, if you catch yourself in the act resisting thoughts and feelings, aka fighting with them, do not get angry. Be proud. And at first, if you're starting from down here, if you're down here on your journey, you're just now getting started, you might have to catch yourself in the act a lot. Okay? A lot at first, right? And that might take some work and some dedication. But after all, bad habits don't die overnight. Bad habits die hard, right? As the old saying goes. So, that's just a very important point that I'm glad I was able to make today. If you catch yourself in the act, which is the main point of today's stream, of fueling your anxiety, which is to say, if you catch yourself in the act of resisting these thoughts and feelings, which is to say, if you catch yourself in the act of fighting these thoughts and feelings, don't be mad at yourself. Be happy that you caught it and that you're becoming more aware of it. And now you can do something about it. Now you can start to practice entering into a more accepting mindset with whatever mantra. I don't even really like the word mantra, but it is what it is. With whatever reminder, there we go, that you've chosen to give yourself. It can be, oh man, I've been sitting here resisting these thoughts and feelings for so long today. Okay, well, you know what? It is what it is. I'm back on track. I'm going to keep living my life. It is what it is. Or maybe you're sitting there, oh man, I caught myself. I've been resisting these thoughts and feelings, fighting with these thoughts and feelings for the past 2 hours. But you know what? You know what? Thank you. Thank you, thoughts. Thank you, feelings. I'm practicing entering into this non-resistant state now. I'm glad I caught myself. Or maybe it's every 15 minutes. You're like, there's that thought again. You know what? It is what it is. There's that feeling again. Okay, thank you for coming. There's that thought. Thank you for coming. I'm going to keep living my life. Okay, so regardless of where you are in your journey, regardless of how often you have to practice catching yourself in the act of fueling anxiety, aka second fear, be proud of yourself. Be proud of yourself. This is a practice. This takes work. This is a lifestyle change, right? So to get aggravated at yourself and angry at yourself for catching yourself in the act, that is what we definitely don't want you to be doing. We want you to be proud of yourself of catching yourself in the act and starting to enter into and practice entering into a more accepting attitude. That way, you can stop fueling the fire. That way, the amygdala can start to understand that he or she is no longer fueling the fire. Okay, I'm still triggered, but as long as they're not fueling the fire, I'm eventually going to learn. I'm going to set these levels down slowly, 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 right? So as you catch yourself, be proud of yourself. And that is the main point of today's stream, guys. Anxiety recovery, catching yourself in the act of fueling your anxiety. What a good one. What a good stream. I'm happy with that one. If you're late to the party, It'll be uploaded, assuming YouTube doesn't glitch out. It'll be uploaded. Let's read some comments now. Sanchez says, I'm late to class. I'm here, Wonder Bro. You were a little late. It's okay, though. Detention. Joseph, what's up, dude? So how's everybody in chat doing? Talk to me, chat. The main point of the stream is over. How's everybody in chat doing? I'm going to switch over to post stream for just a minute, and then we'll be back on Facecam. Thank you so much, by the way, to, let's see, FBK. Thank you so much, dude, for the $10 tip. I really appreciate it, bro. Thank you. Thank you. Fifi says, Wonder Bro, what's up, dude? How are you doing? Guys, today I shampooed my carpets, right? And I don't know where I'm going with this, but today I shampooed my carpets and I'm happy about it. That needed to be done so bad. So bad. What have you guys done today? Anything productive? Anything productive in the chat going on today? Excalibur, what's up, dude? I keep having like I can't think and do simple things like bathing. I feel like I'm failing even when I'm doing it right way. I keep questioning if I'm doing it right. So if you keep questioning whether or not you're doing it right, that's just another thought that you need to say thank you to and move on with your day with, right? You can fuel the thought, am I doing it right, by investigating it, but you're just going to fuel it. What you resist persists. So instead just say thank you to it, right? Instead, just say thank you to that thought. Thank you for the suggestion. I'm going to keep going on with my bath or whatever it is that you're doing, right? So we can get caught up in thoughts and keep feeding them, or we can make the firm choice, thank you for coming. Okay, thank you for coming. And that doesn't mean they'll disappear instantly. They might repeat or do whatever it is that thoughts do, but your attitude towards them, whether they're there or whether they're not, is a thank you. When you catch yourself fueling them, it's a simple, okay, taking a step back, thank you, gonna keep living. Hey, who was that? Who was that? I can't see right now. Brian, dude, thank you so much for the $10 tip, man. I really appreciate it. Hey, shout out to the tippers in today's chat. FBK, Brian, thank you guys so much. That really does help me a ton. Just clean my room. Nice. Nice, nice, nice. So keep that in mind, Chris. Keep that in mind as you're living your life and you get these thoughts and you catch yourself fueling them, aka investigating them and getting involved with them. Simply take a step back and remind yourself, you know what? Thanks for coming. Thanks for the suggestion. I'm going to keep living my life. And, you know, they might not disappear instantly. That's fine. They might do what thoughts do and float around in your head, whatever. They might come back, you know, and the same applies to the feelings as we talk about this. But it's a non-resistant attitude of thank you. It's a non-resistant attitude of thank you. A non-resistant attitude of thank you instead of, oh gosh this, oh gosh that, no, 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 push, 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 pull, 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 blah, 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 right? I'm doing good. I'm on day 6 of taking, I'm not even going to try to pronounce that. I have no side effects, so it'll help me stick to living life. Hey man, medication's always a personal choice. Always a personal choice. I leave that up to each individual if they want to go that route or not. Either way though, practice those 2 main keys, right dude? Practice those 2 main keys either way. If you're going to go that route, practice those 2 main keys. When's the last time I went on a vacation? I can't afford a vacation. I can't afford a vacation. Man, we living day by day. We living day by day. Not necessarily, MC. I mean, if that's one of your fears, then yes. You know, exposure. We call it exposure. But not necessarily is that going to take away your bad habit of adding second fear, which is what we're covering and pretty much what we always cover in every single stream. So you can face your specific fears, which is great. As you slowly do that, go at your own pace. You know, you have to make those decisions for yourself. But if you've got a bad habit of second fear going on, that's something you need to address, and that's what we just finished talking about, entering into that non-resistant attitude of thank you to these thoughts and feelings instead of fueling the fire, aka fighting with them, right? So to answer your question, it's great if you go at your own pace and make the decision to face more specific fears, right? And you have to make these choices for yourself. But if you've got a bad habit of second fear going on, that needs to be addressed as you do these things, right? I learned well to float through anxiety, but this shit is still here with me. This future anxiety is still with me. Can this ever go away? What you resist persists. So if you are resisting these thoughts by fighting with them, trying to argue with them and disprove them, you're just giving a big old shot of steroids to these thoughts, right? So you say you have anxiety over the future. Well, if you have anxiety over the future and you resist those thoughts by fighting with them and trying to make them go away, that's a form of resistance. The word resistance equals a bunch of different things. Fighting with the thoughts, trying to make them go away, blah blah blah. Instead, just thank these thoughts for their suggestion and get back into your life. Don't fuel them. If they want to be there, that's fine. They might trigger you. Eventually, they'll let go of their grip, though, because you're no longer resisting. What is resisting? Resisting equals fighting. Fighting equals mentally trying to push them away and fight with them and debate with them and argue with them. You're wasting your time, right? You're just giving them a big shot of steroids, right? Thank you, bro. No problem. No problem. See, that's the thing, Anton. There's no problem with being aware that a symptom is there. It's like you're trying to force forgetfulness, and that's not going to happen. There's no problem with being aware that you're having negative thoughts. There's no problem with being aware that you're having symptoms. You say, oh, if I say thank you, almost immediately I focus on my symptom. Well, that's fine. If you're aware of a symptom, if you're aware of a thought, of course you are. It's there. Of course you're going to be aware of it. As long as your attitude is one of acceptance and just thank you instead of fighting with it and then just living your life to the best of your ability, eventually forgetfulness will happen on its own, but you can't force forgetfulness. If you're aware of a negative thought or feeling, that's not a problem. As long as your attitude is one of acceptance and thank you instead of fight, 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 then that's fine. If you're aware of a symptom, if you're aware of a thought, okay. But as long as your attitude is one of acceptance and thank you instead of fight, 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 you're doing good. You're doing good. Eventually, forgetfulness will happen naturally as you get more back into life. But just because you're aware of a thought or symptom doesn't mean you're necessarily doing anything wrong, as long as your attitude is one of acceptance, one of thank you, instead of fight, 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 right? And eventually, as you keep living your life, forgetfulness will happen kind of naturally. It'll kind of happen naturally. Man, we have a lot of questions today. We have a lot of questions today. I'm running out of breath. I am running out of breath. Hey, Wonder Bro, quick question. Is trying to think positively considered fighting how you feel, aka not accepting? So you can be a positive person in life and you can have a positive attitude of, you know what, these feelings, these thoughts, I don't have to do anything about them. I can handle this. You know, you can have that positive, motivating attitude. But if you're getting into the specific details with these thoughts, so let's say I have a thought that says I might go crazy, and you start trying to quote unquote think positively by worrying, which is not thinking positively at all. Some people think it is. But if you dive deep with that thought of, oh, I might go crazy, and you start telling yourself things like, oh gosh, you know, that's not gonna happen. You know, maybe one day, but not right now. You know, I don't know. Yeah, I don't have a family history of people going crazy. What's the likelihood? Let's look up the statistics of going crazy. No, 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 no. Cut it out. You're just giving your mind a big shot of roids, a big shot of steroids. You can be positive the right way. What is being positive the right way? It's to say, okay, I had that thought. Thank you for the suggestion. Thank you for coming. I can handle these thoughts and feelings. I'm not going to fight with them. Living my life. Now, that's a positive attitude, right? But when you start to get way too deep with these thoughts and you think that you're being positive when actually you're just worrying, that's a problem, right? All right, guys. All right, I've got to light a cigarette. I've been nonstop rambling. Let's get a cigarette lit. Let's get a cigarette lit. Let's see. I'll pull the comments up here on my end. Let me see. Let me see. All right, we got comments pulled up. Anytime I smoke, I don't smoke around my setup. I don't even smoke in my little area. So I have to pull the comments up on my phone. What should I do to get focus active again? You have to accept the state that you're in currently. Because the more you say, well, what can I do to escape it? Then you're just kind of like a hamster in a wheel, right? So the first step needs to be acceptance, practicing non resistance. This is the way that I feel. Resistance isn't going to help. And then as you slowly start to live your life again, these things will take care of themselves because you've removed the gas from the fire, right? I do appreciate all the questions, though. Don't get me wrong. I'm not complaining. I do appreciate all the questions. Oh, all right, guys. Where are we at? Where are we at in chat here? Let's see if I missed anything. Let's see if I missed anything. Most dynamics said it's simple. Oh nah. Oh nah to involvement. Oh nah to fighting. Just acceptance. I like it. I like it. I can roll with that. Again, I mean, whatever you choose for your little reminder to be to help you enter into that attitude of acceptance rather than resistance, aka fighting with these thoughts and feelings, is really up to the individual. It's really up to the person. Everybody has like their favorites, but as long as you've got that attitude of acceptance, which takes time, takes practice. Nobody's perfect. Nobody's perfect. All right, chat. All right. Apologize for the burp. Try apologize for the burp. Let's see. Ugh. If I missed anybody's comment, just re-comment. Comments have been refreshed on my end. Thanks for the crystal clear answer, Wonder Bro. I'm not fighting with the thoughts, okay, but often catch myself trying to change the way I feel by forcing happy thoughts. That's still resistance, I guess. Yeah, so I get what you're saying. Like, shouldn't we be more positive people? And it's great to have a positive, accepting attitude, right? But trying to force happiness is usually a surefire way to avoid it, right? It's usually a surefire way to avoid it. Now, it's great that you have a positive attitude towards your feelings and thoughts. A positive attitude meaning, thank you, I'm not going to resist this, I'm not going to fight this, I can handle these thoughts and feelings, so forth and so on. But trying to get into the details with these thoughts, like I mentioned earlier, is just worry. That's just worry, that's not acceptance. But as far as what you said, trying to force happy thoughts to feel happier. Now, if there's something going on in your life and you want to have a positive attitude about it, like these thoughts and feelings, for example, I spill a glass of milk, what's done is done. It's okay. It's just a glass of milk. That's a good attitude to have. But if you're sitting there, laying there, trying to force happy thoughts of, about these thoughts and symptoms, you're trying to worry these thoughts away. That's not being positive. That's being a worrier. Right, so there's a difference between being a realistic, positive person and trying to force happiness, for example, which is usually, like I said, a surefire way to avoid it. So it's kind of ironic in that way. It's kind of ironic in that way. So it's great that you want to be positive, and you should be. You should have a realistic, positive attitude towards these thoughts and feelings, and accepting realistic, positive attitude towards these thoughts and feelings. But don't try to force anything away, okay, by trying to get too detailed with, because that just turns into worry. That's basically just worry. It's not really being positive. I accept these thoughts and feelings. I can handle these thoughts and feelings. I'm going to live my life. My happiness will return, right? You don't have to try to force anything. You don't really have to try to force anything. So it's good to have a positive attitude in life, but trying to force something away or trying to force something to come to, it's probably just going to get you worked up. Probably just going to get you worked up. Nearly at 10K, dude, we are so close. We are right around the corner. We are right around the corner. I see people acting negatively and probably entertaining. Yeah, so that's a common question I get. How come not everybody ends up in the sensitized boat, aka tired nerves? Because a lot of people are negative and a lot of people do entertain negative thoughts. However, you got to understand that the people that end up in the sensitized boat took it to an extreme, a whole nother level. So let's say I have a friend and he's a very negative person in general. He's always entertaining this negative thought or this negative worry, but he doesn't do it to the extreme that I did with my obsession over my thoughts and feelings. Right? He didn't get on Google for 2 weeks straight, 2 months straight, and scare himself to death. He didn't get on Google and become totally obsessed with a 24-hour obsession about why he feels the way he feels or thinks the way he thinks. So he might have a lot of negative thoughts, he might have a lot of negative feelings, but the obsession, aka the second fear about them, aka fighting the thoughts and feelings themselves, didn't really come into play into that extreme of a form that it did for the people that end up in the sensitized boat. So you've got what's called a normal society accepted level of worry, and then you've got the people that end up sensitized. Then you've got the people that end up sensitized because they took it to a whole new level. They took it to a whole new level. So your friend who's a negative person, he probably is a negative person, right? But he didn't take it to the extreme. He didn't take it to the extreme that we did without knowing any better. It's not like we did it on purpose, but he more than likely did not take it to the extreme with 24 hours worth of obsession, fighting, resistance, aka the list goes on and on. So you can kind of see the difference there. You can kind of see the difference there. Because I know, me personally, I know a lot of negative people. I know a lot of negative people. I can't get into their minds, and you can't get into your friend's mind either. But we can go ahead and safely say that they probably do entertain worries, and they probably, that's the human condition. Every human does that. But with sensitized people and anxiety, they took it to a whole nother level. It's a whole nother level of extreme when it comes to the fighting and the resistance and the worry about the feelings themselves of anxiety and the worry, okay, about why it's making you feel the way it does, right? What's up, Abel? Did you have anxiety before? Oh, you're new here. You must be new here. Do we start chat? Do we jump straight into the horror story of the peeing in bottles, or do we go easy? We go easy on them. What do we do, chat? What do we do? I'm just messing, dude. Yes, yes, I've experienced very extreme amounts of anxiety in my time. Um, I won't jump into that whole story now. If you want to watch my story video, you can feel free to do so. But when I say I know exactly the way that you're feeling, how you're feeling, and the way that you're thinking, and I can probably tell you to a very scary, accurate degree, just what you're feeling and thinking. So I felt it. I've been there. It's not pleasant. I had to scrape my way up from the bottom, the very bottom of the barrel. At one point was pissing in 2-liter bottles because I was bedridden. So with anxiety, there was actually nothing wrong with me, but with anxiety. So yeah, I know exactly how you're feeling, how you're thinking. Been there, done that. I'm new. Yeah, I understand. I'm just messing with you, dude. I understand, but yeah, I can relate. Trust me, I can relate. Now I don't want anyone to actually be scared by that. I'm kind of resistant to tell my story that often. I try not to because I know there's some sensitive people out there, and I try not to jump right into the horror stories of what I felt with anxiety because I put that on myself. I didn't know what you guys know by watching this stream. I didn't know you're not supposed to fight the thoughts and feelings. And because you know that, you don't have to worry about ending up as in bad of a spot as I once was. So I try not to tell my story as often as I can because I don't want to scare people into thinking, oh God, I'm going to end up like that. No, the chances of you ending up that severe are remote, especially now that you know what you know. Just because you know that single line, don't fight your thoughts and feelings, already you're getting some gears turning. Already you're stepping in the right direction. The only reason I ended up in that bad of a spot is because for years and years and years and years and years, I took it to a whole new level of extreme. Even more extreme than most sensitive people do. Even more extreme than most sensitized people do. So I'm not saying I'm a special case. I'm not saying, anything like that. I'm not trying to say, oh, I was so much worse than everybody else. I'm not trying to do that. All I'm saying is you don't have to let my story scare you because you know what you know now about acceptance. You know to do your best to not fight with those thoughts and feelings. And because you know that, you've already got one foot in the door. Back when I was at my worst, I didn't know any of that. And like I said, you've got sensitized people, and then you've got sensitized people that take it to a whole nother extreme. I was one of those people. Most people are not quite like that. But again, you don't have to let my story scare you. So I didn't hear. Did you answer my question? I did. What was the question again? Yeah, I went on a long rant about that question. I went on a long rant about the question. Basically, in a nutshell, I said that yes, there's negative people out there, and that's a human problem. But most sensitized people take it to a whole nother level of obsession, to a whole nother level of extreme, right? So, a lot of people out there are negative or what you call worriers, but most sensitized people are that way because they took it to a whole new extreme with the obsession and they started to worry about the way that they felt with the anxiety and then just added on and added on and added on. Sue says pissing in bottles. But yeah, like I said, you don't have to let my story scare you. I'm not trying to say I was a special case, but I didn't know anything that I know now. And the fact that you're watching this stream means that you know more now than I did back then. Therefore, you've already got one foot in the door. You don't have to worry. If you sit around and worry about getting uh, that bad off or whatever, then you just need to remind yourself, thank you, mind, for the suggestion. I'm just going to keep living my life. See, you've got those two tools right there. You've got those two keys right there. Thank you to the suggestions of the mind and the feelings and just living your life. And because you've got those two tools, you don't have to sit around and worry, oh gosh, one day I might end up as bad as Wonder Bro was at one point. No, you don't have to do that. You don't have to worry about that because you've already got those two tools. And that's enough. That's enough to keep you away from that. That is enough to keep you away from that. So you don't have to start worrying about where I've been. It's just another suggestion from your mind that you can say thank you to and then move on. Then move on. Some people claim genetics fee, but that doesn't mean that your brain can't be wired the way that you want to wire it with the practice. A brain is totally edible, not in the sense that you can eat it, but like like you would edit a project, right? So you don't want to trick yourself into believing that you've got some sort of contributing factor that is going to keep you stuck, right? You can still make very valuable changes. You can still make very valuable changes. Is my headset dying? I hear that. I hear that all too familiar depressing sound of my headset dying. Such a sad sound to hear. I'll have to plug it up when I get back to the setup. Let's see here. Let's see here. Didn't you say, like, I think it was last stream fee that you started a new job or something? That's great, dude. I'm proud. Where's Nova? She is currently taking a nap in her kennel. I've got her in her kennel, which it's a huge kennel. I don't want anyone to picture some small, cramped kennel. No, it's a huge kennel. I've got her in her kennel currently though because I was shampooing the floor right before this stream. Like, you know, didn't want her prancing around. Couldn't have it. See, here's the thing, Fee. You know, whatever it was on your journey that put you in the spot that you are now, like I said, your brain is totally capable of change. So I wouldn't spend too much time worrying about how you got to the point that you did now. It's good to realize maybe some old traits that you had that should be changed. That's all fine and dandy self improvement, but don't spend too much time obsessing. Don't spend too much time obsessing about how you got where you are now. Just know that you have the tools available to you to make the changes that you want to make now. And that's what's most important, right? That's what's most important in my mind. My dad owns a landscaping business. Nice. Nice. So yeah, like I said, I mean, it's good if you want to do a little bit of digging just to see what kind of traits may have contributed to getting you where you are now, traits that you want to kind of change about yourself. That's great. There's nothing wrong with self-improvement, but don't become too obsessed with how you got where you are now, because you do have the tools available to you now to make the changes that you want to make, regardless of what may have happened in the past. If I remember correctly, you also had depression with anxiety. I did have a bit of like post fatigue, I guess you could say. If so, did depression lift with anxiety when you were recovered? Dealing with both sucks bad. The thing about it is they tend to go hand in hand. They tend to go hand in hand. If you're dealing with a lot of anxiety almost 24/7, of course, that's going to bring anybody's mood down. So they do tend to go hand to hand, but as soon as you start to apply those tools that you have now, two main keys, entering into a more of an accepting mindset rather than resistance, you'll start to feel better, and that should help the depression lift as well. That should start to help to lift the depression as well as you start to feel better. So they don't always go hand in hand. They don't always go hand in hand for everybody, but for some people it's possible. It's not something that's a guarantee, but oh, what's up, PJ? What's up, dude? Oh man, keep catching myself doing it, right? Sometimes that requires a lot at first, but it gets easier as you do it. It gets easier as you practice it. Hey, that's awesome. And if any of you are late to today's stream and you want to watch it back, it will be uploaded, so feel free to watch it when it goes up. Assuming YouTube doesn't do anything weird with it, it'll be uploaded. It'll be uploaded. Good stream today. I'm happy with today's stream. I'm happy with today's stream. I'm glad you're improving, dude. That's awesome. Keep it up. Keep it up. Keep it up. Man, it is so hot today. It is so hot today. What is it like 80 degrees? 87, something like that. I've never actually tried acupuncture. I never gave that a go. So I can't really comment on that, but I'm getting a little bit hungry, chat. Basically just getting sick of it, PJ. I come to the realization that the more I fought with my thoughts and feelings, the more they just seem to grow, right? So I eventually just had to adopt that attitude of, it is what it is. Thank you, mind. Thank you, body. I'm going to live my life, but thank you for the suggestion to my mind. Thank you for the suggestion to my body. It was basically just an accumulation of growing sick of it. How's it going, man? About 4 months ago, I suddenly fell into a constant state of terror. After using stuff learned from your videos, I am now feeling almost normal. Thank you. That is awesome, dude. Keep it up. Keep it up, Ollie. Amazing. I love to see it. I love to see it. Comments like that make it worth it. Comments like that make it all worth it. They make it all worth it. All right, guys, we're about to pass that 1 hour mark, so I'm going to go ahead and shut this one down here. Thank you guys so much for watching. It was a good stream, so it will be uploaded if YouTube decides to do that for me. It will be uploaded, so thank you guys so much for watching. If you missed it, catch it later. I'll see you guys over in the Discord, and I'm sure I'll see you very, very soon. Again, thank you so much for watching. I hope you have an amazing rest of your day. And until next time, as always,